Hey everyone, this video just popped up in my feed, and the minute I saw the title I knew I was gonna have something to say about it. So Forge Labs is a channel that covers gaming related topics, like he does reviews and he just talks about stuff relevant to games. I've watched a couple of his videos. They're alright. I mean, they're not the greatest thing in the world, but they're nice to listen to while as background noise when you're gaming or when I'm like writing scripts for YouTube or drawing or whatever. They're cool to listen to. Unfortunately, I can't say the same about this video. So to give a bit of background, a website called One Angry Gamer, they're a video game journalist website. They made an article about Jade's appearance in Mortal Kombat 11, and the author didn't like the reveal too much. He felt that she wasn't sexy enough for him, and given what she looked like in Mortal Kombat 9, and if you do a direct comparison of the two, yeah, I don't think that it's an opinion that the sex appeal was turned down a bit. Forge Labs, I'm just going to refer to him as Forge for the rest of the video, has a problem with this article, and I'm just gonna get into his video because I think he went about this in a pretty bad way. And for fun, let's do a drinking game every time he says dead corpse or undead, because he really tries to hammer that home, and it gets kind of annoying.
You know what's not a good look? Getting upset about how a reanimated corpse isn't showing enough skin.
Alright, so he opens up with this. If you don't know, Jade is a Revenant in this game, at least the costume they chose to reveal is, because with the gear system you can change stuff about the character, and since we don't know much about plot and time travel is involved, I'm willing to bet she's not going to be a Revenant the entire game, but again, we don't know yet because the game ain't out yet. But anyway, because, spoiler alerts, she died in Mortal Kombat 9 at the hands of Sindel. Matter of fact, the majority of the roster in Mortal Kombat 9 got killed by Sindel. And Quan Chi brought them back as Revenants, so she being a Revenant right now makes sense. Forge here has a problem with the fact that One Angry Gamer, I'm just gonna call him OAG from now on because that's easier. OAG wants the character to look more attractive. And I can see why someone would say, that's weird given, the context of what she is right now. I can see someone arguing that's weird. Look, I've seen some cringy shit. Deviant art is a thing, just saying. So I have a pretty high tolerance to this kind of stuff, but I can see why someone would say it's weird. But there's two things I had to say about that. One, it's a video game. Two, as I mentioned earlier, Jade also has a human skin thanks to the gear system. And after rereading the article again, to me it almost seems like he doesn't like the fact that she's a Revenant also. So again, maybe I'm reading too far into that. I'd have to actually talk to the person who wrote this to know that for sure. But even if it's not the fact, even if he doesn't mind that she's a Revenant, who cares really? I mean, as long as he's not, talking about jacking it to like a literal, dead corpse in real life or something like that, or he wants to do some R-rated things with a dead body or something crazy like that. I don't really care. I think the only reason Forge brings this up is to hammer the point home that the guy is cringy. And yeah, I will say OAG can be very cringy at times, and it's not a crime to be cringy, so, and I'd rather you be honest, because that's what the thing kind of comes off to me with OAG, is that they come off like they're cringy, but they're honestly cringy, like Lost Paws, Noble. I don't know if you ever watched that channel. He does like anime stuff, reacts to anime memes. He's cringy, but this is just how he is in real life. Like you can kind of tell that he's not really acting. So it's genuine, so it's not as bad, and it's fine, I'm pretty sure everyone does something that other people will find cringy. But anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent. Like I said, it's not a crime to be cringy, and I'd rather you be honest and cringy than phony and not cringy or, inauthentic. And I'll admit, I'm a super huge nerd and a Sonic fan, so I have an extreme high tolerance to cringy shit.
Is a gaming journalism website which describes itself as bringing you all the latest gaming news without remorse. The latest gaming news includes articles such as Dead or Alive 6 clothing reveals Christie's bra getting blasted off, Jump Force nude mod available for download, Bad Town GTA rated 18 plus sex sim launches on DL site with free demo. You know, the latest typical gaming news.
Okay, I have to ask this question. Is there something wrong with any of what he showed? It is gaming related. It might not be mainstream, but it's still gaming related, so who cares? I mean, that's actually kind of smart on their part. They're covering stuff that mainstream game journalism websites wouldn't cover. That's a good way to stand out when you think about it. At least a little bit. I mean, they're talking about games and features in games. I really don't see the issue with that. I mean, I get that you don't like those kind of games. That's fine. And I also noticed that thing you did when the word sex was mentioned. You did like the reverb and everything, make it kind of a big deal. And after watching this video, I think it's hilariously relevant, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's move on.
To be fair, they also post other articles, but all of those were posted within the last 3 days. But my personal favorite piece of fine literature from renowned gaming journalist Billy D is, quote, Mortal Kombat 11 adds Jade to the roster, who is fully covered up and lacking sex appeal.
So that's the title of the article. I read the whole thing. I actually read it twice. I read it when it first popped up my Twitter feed, and then again in prep for this video. And yeah, there are some cringy bits in here, but I can see where Billy is coming from. And considering Jade has been known to wear revealing clothes in the past, and her victory animation in Mortal Kombat 9 is this.
Jade wins.
I would say her being sexy is part of her character. She's portrayed as a competent, confident badass, and I think the sex appeal is a part of it. And Mortal Kombat 11 Jade has the confidence part and some legitimately funny one-liners based on what's been shown to the public. I love her interaction with Baraka in the trailer, that was cool. And again, let me just be clear, this is one guy's opinion. If he would prefer sexy Jade, then let him prefer sexy Jade. Revenant or otherwise, he's not hurting anybody. Like, literally this video is Forge Labs shaming this guy for having an opinion about a video game character. I don't understand people that do this, because it's just like, what is the point of it? Anyway, let's move on.
Polygon thinks that Black Ops 4 has too much gore. So you must understand my excitement to read an article about how Jade, again, a corpse, isn't sexy enough for the fine lad Billy D. So I'd like to invite you to join me as I dissect this brilliant and not at all creepy article about how much of a threat this is to gamers that we won't be getting to see a zombified app. But
yeah, he keeps reiterating the zombie thing, and all I have to say is, who cares? It's fiction, dude. This is not real. Like, we're not talking about literally going to a graveyard and digging a body up to do R-rated things with, okay? Not even R-rated, that's NC-17 rated things with it, okay? Believe it or not, and I'm pretty sure anyone who's been on the internet for a while and has ever been in any kind of forum will let you know that wanting a sexy zombie is not the worst thing they've ever seen. Again, have you seen DeviantArt, my dude? Or have you seen The Abyss, that is formerly known as Tumblr, because, you know, Tumblr's kind of having problems right now, more than usual.
Before I get into the article, I want to give you a little background on the author, Billy D. Quote, Billy has been rustling jimmies for years, covering video games, technology, and digital trends within the electronics entertainment space. The GJP cried, and their tears became his milkshake. Oh my god, the edginess is just melting my eyes.
Okay, I'm raising my glass to Billy. That was pretty fucking edgy, dude. I have no idea if Billy is serious or not. Either way, that's fucking hilarious to me. And Forge, are you gonna make some other point than, oh, this is so cringy? Because that's getting kind of old, man.
The article comes out swinging by saying, quote, she's fully covered up like the other women on the roster, making sure that she's not showing off any kind of skin that might tantalize men or even remotely get anyone excited about her physical appearance, because you can't see anything. So you're telling me with this line that you're frustrated because, and I'm going to hammer on this point quite a bit, that a reanimated corpse isn't showing you enough skin.
Oh my god, man, you keep beating the dead horse with that. Just keep hammering it in. This video is 9 minutes and 20 seconds, by the way. I think the point he's trying to make is more so that the women they've shown off so far, I hate to say this, look kind of ugly. Have you seen Scarlett's face? I mean, she looks terrible. And her costume looks kind of generic to me. And compared to what she looked like in 9, which I think they were going for vampire ninja kind of thing, which, side note, there actually was a book I read back in middle school that the premise was ninjas were vampires. And it actually made a lot of sense with like the pop culture portrayal of ninjas. So I liked that motif they went with Scarlett, making her kind of like a vampire ninja. And in the new game, I don't know what they're going for with that. I guess she's supposed to be kind of more sorceress-like or something, but her design looks kind of bland, to be honest. It doesn't stand out to me at all. And her face stands out for the wrong reason. It's not that it looks unattractive, it just looks weird, like something's off with it, like it's not quite a finished model, which it probably isn't. And the animations they show for it don't look right. Like, it's hitting that uncanny valley for me. And don't even get me started on Cassie Cage. Did she get into like a car wreck or something? Like, did Kano whack her in the face with a steel baseball bat or something? Did she have to get like reconstruction surgery? Because this doesn't even look like the same character. I mean, I get the character's probably older here, but age usually doesn't do that much to your face like that. Especially if we're only talking like 5 years at the most.
Skin. We're not even a pinprick into the article yet, and it's already really fucking weird.
God. I'm not even halfway through your video and I'm already eyeing the Jack Daniels. Do I think the article is creepy? No. Video game... Do you know the whole point of video games, honestly? They're about escapism and experiencing things and doing things that you really can't do in real life. The only way I would find this creepy is if he was legitimately complaining about a real dead corpse not being hot. That would be where I'd be pulling out the red flags and be like, okay, dude, you might want to go see some therapy or something, because you got some issues. Also, and this has nothing to do with the rest of the video, this is just a pet peeve of mine, I hate when people censor themselves in their own videos. Why even swear if you're gonna bleep it out, unless you're doing that for a joke? Like, I get it, you want to be advertiser friendly and everything, but why even bother putting the curse word in if you're gonna censor it anyway?
Quote, as you can see, they gave her a zombified skin tone and made sure that there is zero cleavage on display. Her boobs are duly shrunk, and not only does she have boob armor on, but she also has an undersuit on under that. So you literally cannot see anything. You literally cannot see anything. Nothing. You literally can't see anything. Literally. Except for, you know, her entire outfit. You can see all of that. That's all there. And it makes her look like the type of person that if they were trying to pick a fight with me, I would immediately run in the other direction. Because there's not a chance in hell I'm fighting someone who looks like that.
Was anything he said honestly wrong there? I mean, Jade is pretty covered up here. Especially compared to the last time we saw her. I also like the smart ass comment of her entire outfit. You know damn well what he meant. Also, fair enough. If Zombie Jade came at me, I would probably run or hide somewhere too. Now, if MK9 Jade came at me, I may stop to appreciate that before I run away, and I may get brutally murdered, but I mean, let's face it, there's worse ways you can die. Moving on.
And that's the point. They weren't trying to make her look sexy, they were trying to make her look intimidating, as they should do, because this is a fighting game.
Honestly, I'd be more scared of how Jade looks in Mortal Kombat 9, and that's just because anyone who is going to fight you dressed like that either can kill you very easily regardless of what they're wearing, or is a complete psychopath. And neither option bodes well for you if you're on the receiving end of that shit. And also, fighting game characters, my bad, don't have to be intimidating, by the way. I mean, is anybody intimidated by Talim from Soul Calibur or Zhao Yu from Tekken? I hope I pronounced that correctly. I mean, just by looking at them, like, is anyone intimidated by these two if you didn't know anything about the games and just looked at the artwork for them? Would you be intimidated? I'm willing to bet you wouldn't. But I tell you one thing, I do not want to step in the ring with either one of them if they were real. And the reason I'm bringing this up is these games aren't meant to be serious. Tekken and Mortal Kombat, I mean. Tekken and Soul Calibur. Mortal Kombat used to be a lot less serious, and especially before X, it wasn't really that serious. It had serious moments, like it wasn't Marvel movie silly where they would make inappropriate jokes at like something dramatic is happening and they just diminish it with a joke. Like it wasn't that level, but they were having fun with it. The whole point was it was over the top as hell. I mean, look at the fatalities. Like that is over the top as hell. And it was meant to be fun, dude. That's the point I'm trying to make. And I'm not saying Mortal Kombat, needs to have like some super cutesy character. Like a game like BlazBlue, they had that one character, like the little girl who uses magic. They don't need to have a character like that. But if everyone is, this like intimidating character, it's going to be harder for them to stand out. Like they are going to start to feel the same if every character has the same cookie cutter personality, for lack of a better term. So, and that's part of the reason why a lot of people end up maining characters. Because hell, there are people who main characters they're terrible with just because they like the character's personality or like the way the character looks. I mean, you ever heard of somebody buying a car that is objectively worse than another car in terms of gas mileage or maintenance costs or stuff like that, purely because they like the aesthetic of it? You ever heard of that? Is that weird? Does that make sense? That's kind of what it is with fighting game characters in general, really, in video games. I mean, who wants to play a character that they don't like the look of? Unless like there's a reason in the game that you're not supposed, like the character got horribly disfigured or something, and it's part of the story. Just saying. Anyway, he makes a really unfunny joke about Halo and Elites, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just skip that part. His full video's in the description, so you can see that I'm not taking anything out of context or anything like that.
However, the best line in the article is, quote, "And before you millennials, leftists, and centrists start going on about how she's still attractive since most don't seem to have played any games before 2014, here's a comparison shot between Jade from Mortal Kombat 11 and Jade from Mortal Kombat 9. Checkmate." One angry gamer attempts to do a lot with this point because the entire argument hinges on it. Firstly, it suggests that the only people who could possibly be okay with the design change are millennials, leftists, and centrists. Yeah, it couldn't possibly be people who just aren't concerned with how much skin is showing on a corpse.
Okay, this part of OAG's article, it is a bad point. I will say this though, some of the people complaining about him complaining about Jade not being as attractive as she was before seem to forget that Mortal Kombat was known for its over-the-top, and is still known for this, the over-the-top blood and gore, and a lot of the girls were scantily clad. The games have, or rather had, because they've been moving away from this, and I really wish they would stop, but, Ed Boon's gonna do what Ed Boon wants to do. Ed Boon and NetherRealm Studios, I should say. But anyway, the older games had this juvenile air to them, and doing the side-by-side, he's showing what Mortal Kombat is, or what should I say was, and what NetherRealm has turned it to, and is still slowly turning it into. And to be fair, if he just made that point rather than doing the whole millennial and centrist route, it would have been a better point. So I will give you that. But I will say this, there are a lot of people who, for lack of a better term, bitch about attractive characters in games, like them being too sexy. And if you just probe them for a little bit, pay attention, it becomes readily apparent they don't actually know what's going on with the game. They just seem to be latching on to this particular thing, but they don't see the full picture of what this game is and everything. And full disclosure, I've played Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate, Deception, Armageddon, 9, and X. So I know a lot about Mortal Kombat. I'm not an expert at it. I have only played, briefly played ports like the original games and stuff. I know some stuff about Mortal Kombat. I don't know everything, but I think I know enough to say that I know what Mortal Kombat is and what it represents, for lack of a better term.
Here's the thing about Jade and the other women characters in the game. I'm not concerned about how non-revealing their outfits are because I don't care about how attractive the characters are. And you might say, well, I care, and to that I would say, Yes, that makes you very creepy.
This is probably the worst point he makes in this video, and I wonder, did he actually like look over that before he said it and realize what he's saying? Because what he's saying is, if you prefer playing an attractive character, you're creepy. Then I'm creepy then, because yes, I prefer a character to look attractive. And I'm not just saying that for women either. I don't want to play an ugly looking character, period. Unless the point is the character's like horribly mutated or something, and it fits the aesthetic of the game. So somehow I'm creepy for wanting something I find pleasing to look at, or that I want to look at. And considering how video games require the use of your eyes, because, you know, in order to get the full experience of a video, you have to see it. I don't think it's inherently creepy to say that I like to play as a character that I think looks cool. I don't get why some people have a problem with someone voicing their opinion on the attractiveness of a character model. Like, if we're gonna reduce this down to what it is, it's a bunch of freaking polygons and shit on a screen. And like I said, even characters that are meant to be grotesque looking, there's an air of coolness around them. Like, look at William Birkin from Resident Evil 2. He looks horrifying, but he also looks awesome in a weird way. Like, he's supposed to look grotesque, but they make grotesque look cool. I don't know how you do this. I don't know if there's an actual professional art term for that, but it looks cool. And the point is, if you show this character to someone without any context, they might say, oh, that looks horrifying, but it also looks kind of cool. And, you know, they might actually pick up the game. Just because, like, I'll tell you right now, that's the reason I picked up Soul Calibur, because I saw Nightmare on the cover of a demo. And when I picked this character, and I was like, oh, he looks awesome. And then I fell in love with the series. So, yeah, this sounds kind of shallow, but attractive characters and presentation will sell your fucking game, or can help. And I get that some people don't care that the characters look attractive, or they personally find them attractive or anything. I get that there are people that don't care about that kind of stuff. I'm not going to judge them for that, because it's their opinion. I understand that. And I understand the people who really care about their characters looking attractive. I don't judge people either way on that, unlike you. And that's the real problem I'm having with this video, because you're just coming off as a judging dude for having an opinion. And it's not like it's even like a really horrible opinion. I mean, there's some worse opinions out there that if we really want to judge people over their opinions.
So this comparison image does nothing. If anything, it shows me how ridiculous her old costume was and how her new costume fits the rest of the roster better.
Okay, what that image is trying to show you is how sex appeal has been a staple of Mortal Kombat. You know what? I'll throw up some images of Jade from other games for comparison. As you can see here, Jade has always looked kind of similar to MK9 design. There's been some variations and stuff like that, you know, as different artists put their spin on the same character, you know, it's understandable. But there's been this consistency, and you say her old design looks ridiculous. I think that's the point, though, because I don't think you're supposed to take 9 like super serious as this grounded, gritty thing. You get what I mean? Yeah, I agree with you that if they put how Jade looked in 9 into 11, if they put Jade's how she looked in 9 into 11, it would look weird. It wouldn't fit. Like, they don't match. And I think that's also part of what he's getting at, and what a lot of people who aren't a big fan of 11's aesthetic choices, I think that's what we're getting at. They're pushing towards this more gritty, realistic direction with things, and to me, I don't see the point of that, because it just makes everything feel more generic and doesn't have that flair to it. Because, while I don't dislike Jade's design now, it doesn't stand out as much as how she looked in 9. You can take that as you will, that's my opinion, of course, but I think she looks a little more generic in 11. And that was a problem that a lot of the characters had in Mortal Kombat X. With their obsession with grounding everything, it made the characters look kind of boring compared to their MK9 designs. The MK9 designs, in my opinion, were striking because there was a style to them. It wasn't understated, it was in your face about it. And the problem is MKX and MK11 are trying to go, you know, that grounded route, which unfortunately means everything's more watered down. And Forge, let me ask you this again. Are people not allowed to have a preference and voice their opinion about the aesthetic choices of a game? Is that off the table all of a sudden? Because when my money is involved, I think I'm allowed to have an opinion on something. If you're trying to sell me something, I think I'm allowed to voice my opinion on your product if your end game is to sell it to me.
And maybe it's sexier. Well, I'm here to tell you that you are 100% dead wrong. Yes, Yes, one angry gamer. That is exactly how people will try and defend the decision to create a new outfit for Jade in Mortal Kombat 11. That's exactly it. Who's gonna defend that point?
Some people were defending it in that matter because there is gear customization in the game. Hell, I was hoping for a really good human Jade Skin that looked more like her classic, look and everything. And the screenshots they've shown off so far for other costumes, these look even more boring than her Revenant form, to be honest. Again, my opinion, so you can take that with a grain of salt. Anyways, he does this really unfunny sketch by making fun of what OAG says. I'm just gonna skip it, because this video is already long enough.
For us by showing us a tweet where a brave gamer stood up to the developer and said, quote,
"She looks disgusting. Make girls look sexy if you want my money and respect."
I don't want your money or your respect. Truly awful comment.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about Tyler for a second here. Sometimes it's best just not to say anything. And what I mean by that is, if your goal is to sell a product, don't insult a customer for voicing their opinion about said product. Yes, I will say the comment was dumb, but I think this looks way worse on you because now I'm more focused on your response than just a dumb comment. Had you not said anything, everyone would just look at the dumb comment and either ignored it or would have been like, oh, this guy's fucking dumb. But now we're looking at you and your response and specifically what you said, and I can't help but get Battlefield 5 vibes from that. And believe me, you don't want me to have Battlefield 5 vibes from your game. Better ask EA how that shit worked out. And here's the other thing that Forge doesn't even bother even considering, at least he doesn't voice it in the video. That guy, let's say, what if the next character reveal is a character that, maybe that was his main character, and the character looks good in his opinion, and looks like they would play well. He might still buy the game, but because you went out of your way to say something, say, we don't want your money, how likely do you think he is to buy the game? And it's not just him either, because now that this, especially because you did this publicly because it's Twitter, people see your reaction, and I think there's gonna be a group of people, I don't know how big they would be, who are not going to want to buy your game, or they're going to wait for it and buy it used, which if they buy it through like GameStop's probably not gonna be a thing for too much longer. They buy it used or from one of their buddies or something like that, you don't get any of that money. So you might have just lost a couple sales there. And I know those sales might seem insignificant in the grand scheme of things, but you're losing money for dumb reasons. That's never a good idea. Anyway, let me get back to Forge here. He starts looking at the responses to, the article, which I was in some of those responses because I essentially said, what's the problem with wanting a character to be attractive? And I said, no one really wants to play an ugly character unless there's a reason that character looks like that, for a story reason or lore reason. But there's one particular response that OAG has, and it's cringy, but it's really funny, and Forge's reaction to it is actually kind of funny, and I just want to play it.
However, the verdict is still out on whether or not they added any sexy time gear pieces to the game for the sake of boner culture? Boner culture? What the fuck is boner culture?
But yeah, he keeps going on with that for like a minute or so I'm just gonna go ahead and skip it.
Quote, the only sexy aspect of the outfit is the part of her upper thigh. Is out, but she's wearing a bodysuit that covers all her pelvic region and buttocks. So no cheek peeks or thongs for you retro gamers. Yeah, sorry retro gamers. No cheek peeks or thongs for you today. You're gonna have to choose. Oh my god. As you know, retro gamers, they love their cheek peeks and thongs.
I think I can honestly sum up this whole video as, oh my god, this is so cringy. I think what Billy is trying to say, and again, English minor is coming out here, and I think he would have benefited from some kind of editor here, or another editor to ask him, hey, what did you mean by this? Kind of thing. I think what he means is older games weren't afraid to give their characters sex appeal, because, I know some people are going to hate me for saying this, sex sells. I mean, despite older games weren't afraid to put a let's just say not photorealistic, attractive character on the cover, even if they weren't even the main character, games would do that. But again, Billy or whoever edited this could have gotten more out of that, so we knew exactly what he meant. That's how I interpreted that, so I can understand if someone didn't interpret that. Anyways, he just goes on to poke fun at Billy for wanting a sexy Jade. By the way, can we get a couple hashtag sexy Jades in the comments, because I just find that whole phrase funny, that I'm even saying that.
Billy. He obviously wrote that about himself, and writing anything about yourself is difficult, which is why you should always have someone else do it for you. So I've got you covered. Quote, Billy isn't your typical gaming journalist. He's willing to stand up to developers when a game doesn't give him anything to get excited about, like an upper thigh, cheek peek, or a thong on a reanimated corpse. There's not much more to say about this article or topic as a whole besides it's just disturbing. Every line in this article reads like it was written by a horny 12-year-old.
What can I even say about this clip that he's mocking the guy for that just doesn't speak for itself? He mentions horny 12-year-olds, and Mortal Kombat, when you really look at it, it's basically what a 12-year-old would probably write when you think about it, would probably think would make a cool game. And I think that's why it became a classic, because it spoke to that. When you think about it, Mortal Kombat, especially everything before 9, was pretty juvenile, with the over-the-top characters and gore. And that's what people liked about it. And again, I'm sorry, but I was under the impression the point of a video game was to have fun at the end of the day. And if your definition of fun is being a horny 12-year-old and ogling Jade's thighs or breasts for a while, I'm not gonna judge. But Forge Labs will, if this video is any indication.
Or a middle-aged neckbeard who hasn't had physical contact with another human in the past 8 years.
Up. He said it. Here he goes. Billy's neckbeard. So wanting characters to show skin in a game series that history is known for having scantily clad female characters, as well as over-the-top gore, means you're a neckbeard now. I was refraining from saying this, because, I wanted to give Forge the benefit of the doubt, but I think it's safe to say Forge is virtue signaling like a motherfucker right now. And it's really not a good look, and you really need to stop that, because, don't. Like, we see what you're doing, man. It's obvious, and to be honest, it just makes you look worse than Billy. I don't know, to me, it just makes you look worse than Billy when you're doing shit like this, especially with the creepy comment you said earlier, that if you care about the look of a character that makes you creepy, it just makes you look bad.
There's gaming issues that are worth getting upset about, and then there's this.
And can't this same argument be used on you? Because according to time here, you've spent about 9 minutes and 20 seconds mocking someone's opinion piece about the hotness of a video game character. And I'm just talking about the 9 minutes and 20 seconds you uploaded, because you probably spent about 3 or 4 hours editing this together. Let's be generous here, probably was more than that. You probably, had some mistakes in there that you had to edit around or re-record and all that kind of stuff. So you probably spent about 4 or 5 hours mocking this guy for having an opinion. I mean, if we're gonna make the same argument you just made, that makes you look worse.
Just let go. You should probably just step back from this one.
Yeah, maybe you should take your own advice, man. Anyway, that's the end of his video, and to summarize, this whole thing came off as, I find this cringy and immature, therefore it's bad, and I'm gonna shame you for it. My opinion on this whole thing is, I don't mind her design. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's anything to get angry about, in my opinion. But if we're talking about purely like art styles and design choices, which one would I prefer? I'd probably pick Mortal Kombat 9. Just saying. I like that style because it's not so focused on trying to look mature and realistic. I mean, games are allowed to be juvenile and fun. And I think that's where a lot of Western developers are going wrong. Especially AAA stuff, is it seems like they're trying to be grown up and adult, and they're sacrificing fun because of it. I really hope that Mortal Kombat starts to embrace more of the, for lack of a better term, batshit the originals were known for. But let me know what you guys think of this. Do you think I'm reading too far into the Forge here about this? Because it just comes off like that to me, that he's just shaming the guy for having an opinion, and it's not even a terrible opinion, to be honest. I've seen far worse, and I'm pretty sure anyone watching this has seen far worse. But anyway, let me know what you guys think, and don't send hate to Forge. Like, I mean, me telling you this isn't gonna stop you, but just don't, okay?